The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back to The Local Show. Thank you for hanging out with Steve and I. We do appreciate it. Who was I talking to that knew us? Oh, the tire guy. CNY Tire. I want to get him on the show.
The tire guy.
Yeah. You know, it's somebody that I found on the marketplace on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I don't have Facebook.
Were you looking for tires? Or
I was looking for tires for my daughter. Saw a
Shouldn't she buy her own tires at her age?
Yeah, she's 24.
Okay, just checking.
Just not, doesn't take care of the car and all that stuff.
It never ends.
It never ends, right? And it kind of wore the tires down. She couldn't pass inspection. Anyway, I found this guy out in Central Square, and he had a couple of tires. They were takeoffs, used tires, but they were in great shape. They were only like $60. Okay. So I said, well, I'll go up there and buy them for her, and take care of her. So I go up to the guy's place, and built right into his home, his estate, if you will. He's got, a big double bay garage and all this with all sorts of brand new tires. Nope. I mean, I'm talking stacks of it.
Right in Central Square.
Right in Central Square. Yeah, well, just off Route 37. Okay. So it was incredible. And I said, man, you got a lot of stuff. And he had every tool under the sun. He's all registered and all this stuff. And he's an avid listener of WSYR and The Local Show.
Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. And the one thing he told me, he said, I want to take care of you. You're not that Steve guy, are you? I said, no, I'm Tom. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. He got charged double.
So I was very happy that not only was he a listener, but he's got a great product, and maybe he'll come on and we'll unpack that a little more.
That'd be fun.
Right now, we'll unpack Neal Carr. He's the vice president of Prime Heating and Air. How are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. And I have a nice air conditioning system from Neal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put in a beautiful system. We were just talking about where it goes into the house and what I can do to prep that area to make it more convenient to mow and things like that. And they do just such a great job. In fact, sometimes, Neal, the house is too cold.
Yeah.
And I don't even have it set really low. You know, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well. So, What else do you guys do this time of year with all this rain and things like that?
Yeah. So we're starting our maintenances. Obviously, our spring maintenances and getting people ready for the summer. It will be here. Even though we've had this rain.
Right.
But once things dry out. But we've got a lot of work lined up. Getting out to folks that we've got to get back to and finish installations. We started in the winter, did the furnace and indoor stuff. Now we got to get back and finish the AC outside. So doing all that, doing maintenances, doing a lot of quotes for ductless. People looking for new systems. Doing a lot of work quoting. Duct work, people,
pumps and
people making changes to their system, that kind of thing this time of year. Summer is also a good, you think you're strictly AC, but summer, especially if you're, you've got a boiler system or something you're looking to either update or equipment you're looking to update. Now's a good time to think about that too. We can get in there while it's not being used and you don't have to be, down without heat or anything.
Right.
So summer is also a good time for that as well. A lot of people don't think about that. They think, we'll wait, until it gets closer to it gets cold out, but then, you're not going to have heat. So while we do it. So that's a good time as well. A lot of cool things going on in Prime this year. This year is actually our 10-year anniversary.
Oh,
so,
great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So been in business 10 years.
10 years? Oh my gosh. How about that?
Yeah. Dwayne started the company back in 2015. So
like 5 minutes later, you showed up, right? It wasn't that far.
About a year and a half in. Yeah. I started, I think January of 17. So, it's good. I think May, this month actually, I think it was when he started it back in 2015. So date of business origin or whatever. Yeah. So that's really cool. We 10 years in and things are going well and we're in a good spot and can't complain. Things have been good.
You've made it through the COVID.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, John, when you said that, COVID in the middle of that.
Yep. Went through that. Yeah. That was about 5 years. That was about halfway in. Yeah.
Sure. Was that good for business?
It wasn't terrible. Obviously, there were, the bigger problem was right after was not being able to get things. There was
that's right.
the shortages and of supplies and things like that.
Sure.
That was an issue for a little bit. Maybe 6 months to up to a year, maybe. But yeah, things have obviously.
From a marketing standpoint, it's been tough for us because during that era, we've taken so many pictures of various companies and everybody had masks on.
It's true.
And you don't want to use those pictures. Maybe some of the woke people want to use them, but we don't like to use those. Continue to use those pictures.
Yeah. So that I got through that. Like I said, that was about halfway in. That was about 5 years in, and then I got through that and put another good 5 years in, and here we are at 10. So what do they say? You make it past 7 or something like that, you're in a good spot.
A few weeks ago I heard a news story. National Grid is increasing the rates and all that kind of thing.
They always are. So it doesn't really affect us. It just really affects the consumer. Obviously, you're upgrading equipment, maybe for going from older equipment to newer equipment, and you're not seeing this huge savings, and people are like, well, I thought I was going to look at my
the
bills.
rates went up 20%.
Exactly. It's kind of a wash almost, so
I don't kind of understand why they have to raise the rates so dramatically.
No idea.
Especially when we're trying to become more energy independent. We're going in the opposite direction.
Right.
Well, it costs all that
infrastructure, the
stuff
equipment
costs money. I mean, if you're going to go electric, anybody hear the stories on the school buses?
Oh yeah.
They're parking these things that your governor friend. I know Tommy Lower. I just don't know that she's great. They made these laws. You have to do this. And they can't even keep a charge. I just heard a story. A school bus, it goes like 40 miles, and then they had to park it, and it doesn't work in the cold.
It takes 2 days to
and you got to
charge
build a special garage, and it's all this stuff.
It's
it's silliness.
I don't know true or not. I heard one district bought the buses to meet the thing, and they're just going to park. They're not even going to use them.
I think I heard the same story.
Horrible.
So it's like that is just ridiculous. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't affect us per se. It just everything, whether it's people the tariffs, and increasing equipment prices and all this stuff and. Yeah, there may be some of that initially, but I think it's all going to even out. And I think
well, already he's made a bunch of great deals, so I think it's going in the right direction.
Just like anything else, any taxes, any increases, any of that stuff, it's the end user that it's us that as we buy these things.
You get a lot of good reviews and a lot of referrals. How? The loaded question here. Maybe it's slightly leading, but why?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an HVAC company on every corner. It seems like there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You got loyal people that do. Why?
Yeah, I think it's just I think they feel like they're treated fair, honest, up front. We're not. I don't think we're not. They're slickster sales. Stuff, you know what I mean? So. We kind of just shoot it straight as much as we can, and then if there are any issues, we're right back trying to fix everything.
And most of your job is customer interfacing,
exactly.
right? And making the appointments.
Yep.
And you don't strike me as the kind of guy, and I've had this happen where some people who are in service industry will say things like, oh, yeah, you should have called me 3 months ago. Is that the way you treat people?
Well, you don't say it like that. I mean, you think that for sure sometimes. You just don't say it.
You think it, maybe.
Yeah. No, obviously, and I get it. Like, sometimes people just don't want to complain or like, but if there's an issue, we want to know, obviously. And obviously, the earlier we know, the quicker we can get back to make it right or fix it, So, those things do happen.
Just appointments in general.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
I heard this noise and it's been 3 months and...
Or hey, could you guys come over? I'm looking at a new furnace system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you? When can you get to me?
Yeah.
Well, crap! I can get to you in 6 months.
Oh yeah, sure.
You don't say that. To
no.
people,
No. Yeah, no. We try to be as responsive as possible, and obviously, in the midst of if it's 10 degrees outside and we're slammed, we'll get to you as soon as we can.
Spring is here, summer's coming. If maybe your HVAC company now, you kind of think, I got to call them, and you roll your eyes. You'll roll your eyes with you guys.
Yes, that's right.
PrimeHeatandAir.com.
Yep.
PrimeHeatandAir.com. 802-4287. Thanks for coming, Neal.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me again.